Hi, this is Ms. Mar, and I am here to walk you through how to access your PVS class and what you are responsible for once you get into Blackboard. So I am going to go and take you into sharing the screen of Blackboard. So assuming you have already watched the video on how to log into Blackboard, which means setting up your Microsoft account, which then lets you get into Blackboard. This is what you would do. So you automatically then come to click here to log in for Blackboard. Once you do that, you will see that you have a few choices here of classes. Excuse me, let me do that. You're going to click on courses first. Then you see your list of classes. You will probably see something from the career and development as a choice, and you probably should only see your reading, writing basics, SFA. I have more choices here because these are all the classes that I am enrolled in. So you would click on your reading and writing basics, SFA. It automatically opens to this home page, which is announcements. So if I need to send you something and say, hey, everybody check this out, or hey, I want everybody to go do this assignment as a class, this is where that announcement would be. Plus it would have been emailed to you, okay? So what you're gonna do first is on this left-hand side, you're gonna go over here where it says, start here. And here's just a little welcome letter to you. Tells you a little bit about our objectives for class. And underneath that are some strategies for successful online studying. And I will be updating the welcome video for you also, so that will be there by the time you get to see this. So I would like you to watch that also. Once you do that, if you look back up here in your welcome section, the last thing under getting started, after you read through here, it says click on my instructor on the course menu to the left. Now, notice for some reason they have it multiple times. The one that I would like you to click on, I believe, let me find it, is this one up here under communications. This one right here, this is my instructor, is my current one for you. And really what it is just background information about me. So you get to know me a little bit as your instructor, even though I'm not face-to-face with you. It always helps to know who you're working with, okay? So, once you get to read that, back in my start here section, the next thing said, once you have completed start here, go into the course information area to review important course information before starting this course. So when you look in course information, you'll see some things I have here for you. Here is your course information sheet that you will need to read through. It's important because you will have a little quiz on that, and I'll show you where that is. Here is information on how to log into IXL, which is an additional program we're going to use. Your main program you're going to be using is called Essential Education, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. I might switch and put that in here. Right now, it's not in here, and it's in a different section that I'll show you. But extra stuff is here, so your course information sheet, just a reminder of how to log into IXL. Here is my contact information. And also, if you need to set up a time to meet with me for any reason, these are my office hours that I'm here in the REOC building, but I'm also available during Zoom, through Zoom during that time. You would just have to let me know in advance so that we can set that up, or we can set it up anytime later in the afternoon. I am teaching in-person classes from 9 until 12 every day. So I am not available to meet during that time. If you need to, you can always just contact me via email, which is right here, dmar@blackboard.edu. Here are some important links, especially if you're struggling with Blackboard or getting into any of your online programs. There are 2 different forms here for tech help. So this one is if you're having Blackboard issues specifically. If you click here, it takes you to a form to fill out, and the tech department will then get back to you to be able to assist you. Same thing applies if it's just a general tech question and not specific to Blackboard. So, whoops, that knocked me out of that. Hang on, let me get back into our course information. In this tech help, this other one is for any other tech helps you need. So maybe you're having problems with your Microsoft account. Maybe you're having problems with IXL or Essential Ed. You can always send tech help for that. All right. Other things here is a little Blackboard help for students if you're having issues. And then everybody gets this link, which is just general computer training skills. And you can go in there and brush up on some like typing skills and things like that if you would like. That is not required for this class, but it is provided there for you. So we've gone through the start here. We've gone through the course information. Now the next thing here, and this is your most important section, is your course content. Let me change this up a little bit because it's going to look different for you as a student. When you log into your course content, you're going to see one folder there, and that says Spring 2023. Once you click on that, here is your information for Essential Ed, which is your main program you are using to work yourself through this to gain more knowledge to be able to pass your TABE at the end of the semester. So I have some information here for you. Let me move my video out of the way. So it says this link will take you to Essential Education, meaning if I click on this that's underlined, it will take me right to the login. And this is the online program based on your place in it, based on your initial assessment once you log in. So when you log in the first time, it's going to ask you to take either a placement or locator test. Once you do that, it will start giving you information of where to start in the program. There are videos included and lessons and quizzes and all of those great things. I'm going to ask you to not take any of the practice TABE tests that are included in there. At specific weeks throughout the semester, I will send you an announcement and put it in your Essential Education screen when you log in. It says, please take this locator test. Okay, there are only a few of them available, so I want to space them out for you throughout the semester. There's also a quick start guide that I should have emailed to you at this point that has your login information for Essential Ed. What it traditionally is the email that you registered for at REOC. That is your username, and everybody's password is the same. It is all lowercase, REOC 161. Do not go in and change your password when you log in the first time. We keep it that way so every teacher knows how to access your account if needed. Okay? Some other information in here are some videos that I sent to you when you got your welcome information from me. Here's just, again, how do you get into Blackboard? How do I find things in Blackboard? Some of which I'm showing you right now, but there is another video for that also. Here is a student login guide that goes along with IXL. I might move these things around a little bit to make it easier for you to find. And here is a sample in case you're looking for that email with your login information. So this is a sample. This is not exactly what you got. But as soon as it opens, you would have received an email from something that said studenthelp@essentialed.com. This was your welcome email. It gave you the email I registered you with. And for some reason, it's starring out the password, which is not helpful. But like I said, it is all lowercase, REOC 161. That's the information you need. What's super important is right here. So for the URL, you cannot go on Google and just type in essentialed.com. We, as an REOC, have purchased like a room within Essential Ed. So it's our REOC classroom, and you have to be able to access that specific section of Essential Ed. So this is what you type into Google the first time to be able to access it. So be really careful because it is https://www.essentialed.com/start/Rochester EOC. Be careful, it is not Rochester REOC, it is Rochester EOC. So if you have issues logging in, that might be a reason, so double check that. This works in Google Chrome or what is it, Mozilla Firefox. So either of those are your best choices for being able to run the software. It does work, I believe, on phones, on computers, on tablets. So use any of those modes to be able to complete your work. However, I will say it is difficult to do some of the reading passages on a little tiny phone screen. So it would be in your best interest to use some other type of device. We have a learning resource center here at REOC that is open. I'm not sure of the hours right now because we're in the middle of switching people that run that department, but it's generally open about 8 to 4 for you people to be able to come in and utilize computers when needed. You can access this from a friend's computer. You can access this from a library computer. And like I said, any of our computers here on campus are available during the daytime. So I'm going to go back into Blackboard for a minute. You'll see I do have another link in here for IXL. I've added some more videos in IXL and how do you get started in IXL? How do you do real-time diagnostic in IXL, which is a way of sort of quizzing yourself to see how you're doing at a TABE level without taking the TABE pretest in essential education. So I will be usually specifically giving you something I want you to work on in IXL because I'll be watching your progress in essential ed. I will be assigning you things to work on. You'll usually go through whatever assignment tabs they have for you, or excuse me, lesson plan tabs they have for you. If you see something in the assignment tab, it's because I sent something to you specifically to work on in essential ed. You may get other emails from me or announcements from me saying, please go into IXL and work on such and such. Because I noticed maybe you did everything in essential ed and you're still struggling with that topic. So I want to give you some more information to be able to help you. These extra things here in IXL just explain the diagnostic assessment. There are some posters here that just show you progress, examples of progress and what I'd like to see. So for example, you'll understand this more when you look at IXL. There are different zones. We want you to get up to 80%. When you see, it's called a SMART score in IXL instead of a percentage, but work on problems up to 80%. Anything above that is doing really awesome, and they consider 90 to 100% is more of a challenge zone. To be able to access IXL, I did write that in the IXL link. It's usually your first initial and last name. And again, your password is all lowercase, REOC161. If by chance I had to assign you a different username, because the computer actually assigns it, I will let you know that, okay? Or you could say, hey, I tried logging into IXL, it's not working, can you check my username? So back in here, what else do I have for you? Here's an example in IXL when they give you recommendations based on work that you do. They're all sort of coded. You can look at this at your own time. So if they give you something with a barbell, that means that they're trying to give you something to help you get past being stuck on something. All of these little symbols mean different types of coding. So just, it's there for your reference to know what recommendations it's making for you. And all of these recommendations, whether it be in IXL or Essential Ed, it's all based on how you are answering questions within those programs. So the thing I really want you to focus on for class is going into Essential Ed. So let me back up the screen for you. In here for Essential Ed, once you log in, you should automatically be directed to this page for your login. And again, I sent you that information, so you should have it. So please look for it. And once I log in, I'm going to turn mine into a student page so it looks familiar. It asks you, what do you want to study today? Right now, you're always going to start with picking TABE 11-12 Academy. Once you click on the link there, you are going to choose reading. Some of you, I might put you onto a little bit of language, even though that's not the TABE we're testing. I think there's a few things in the language section that could help you on your TABE test. But generally, you just need to log into the one that says TABE 11-12 reading. The first time you have logged in to this, it asks you for a number of hours to set for your goal for the week. I'm asking everyone to please set a goal of at least 6 hours, because that is as much time as you should be spending per week in your class if you are in a traditional classroom in the building. So since you are working through this on your own, this is what they call an asynchronous class, that the teacher gives you the information and you go through it at your own pace, then you should be putting in 6 hours per week on these programs, especially Essential Ed, and then anything beyond that, you can certainly do more Essential Ed or some IXL. Because remember, your goal is to get high enough to choose the vocational program that you want. So once I'm in here, I stopped in the middle of a lesson. So if you were to do that, I might say, do you want to resume where I left off? No, I want to start the lesson all over again. Or yes, I do want to start where I left off because I was right in the middle of it. But I'm going to choose no, because I want to go back to the beginning.
Reading locator test. This test will help us place you at the right learning level.
So this is what you're going to get the first time you log in. This guy here, named Leonard, he is sort of your teacher throughout this technology program, and he's going to walk you through every different part. So the first thing you do, I think it's 15 questions. It's a locator test. And that determines what skills you're going to start with in the Essential Ed program. Okay. And then the computer automatically builds your program based on how you answer questions throughout the various lessons. All right. So I'm going to see if it'll allow me to go on. That's an example of one of the questions. Whoop. All right.
Based on your answers, you'll start out in level B.
Once you see your results, this is what I was talking about. There's a video down here that I suggest you watch. It walks you through what are all of these things here on the screen, what each one of these panels means. So please take the time and watch this 5-minute and 40-second video. And it will tell you that this is where your information is. This is how you watch a lesson. Then you click on things throughout the program to get to questions. If you feel that you already know some of the information, you can always go down here where it says test out of. And you can try a little quiz and see if you know enough to skip the entire lesson. Okay? So your goal for here, depending on where you start, If it starts you at level E like mine, I would have to get all the way through level E, all the way through level M, and all the way through level D by the end of the semester to feel confident to pass your TABE test at the end of our semester. Okay? So hopefully some of you are starting at the level M, but if you need to start at level E, that's okay. That just means you need a little bit more practice on some other skills. And it certainly isn't going to hurt you, but you will be testing at the end of the semester on level D. So please watch the video from Leonard to know about this learning plan. As you struggle with things in here, it will automatically generate new lessons for you in the review section. And then eventually another tab will pop up here that says assign, which are things that I have assigned to you to work on. So you're always going to have to be checking these tabs to see what you're doing. So I want to end my welcome here and say, please, 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 get logged in, give it a day, give it a try, and then send me an email so that I know how you are doing and if you have any struggles. Otherwise, I will probably wait until next week to be able to check in with you. Good luck with your future education.